The sixth day of Eagles training camp, and the defense won again. A lot to discuss between cornerbacks. The linebacker core is probably going to be the best linebacker core in the league. I'm not even kidding. It is producing like wildfire, and a lot to discuss here. So let's get straight into it all.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So, sixth day of Eagles training camp, not even a week of training camp yet, and the Eagles had shoulder pads on and helmet, shorts, so not full pads, but they're almost practicing like it. So, let's get into the sixth day of camp. Now, it looks like special teams coach Michael Clay had an interview today, a press conference, and I was kind of live streaming at the time, and I didn't even know what was going on because it was like less than 5 minutes. It was how much do you really need to talk about when it comes to a special teams coordinator? But he had a couple things to say. Now, it looks like Cooper DeJean is still going to be at punt returns. Now, it's not looking like they want him to be there at punt returns. They're going to have him still work there during camp, but just in case they need him, he'll be ready for it. And I think they'll use him for emergency just in case. But when you kind of look at what they showed out on the field so far, you had Anaya Smith out there. You had Giles Jackson out there. You actually had Avery Williams, the specialist from Atlanta that they brought in. So he's on the punt returns. I'm excited to see between punt returns, kick returns, what they're doing. I haven't heard much for the kick returners. Once we get into the preseason game, see which guys are lined up early in the game to the end of the game and the depth and who they're really testing out there. We'll get to see special teams more closely in that faction. Now, we're going to start off with the injury report for the Philadelphia Eagles for the 6th day. So the guys that are not practicing, you have Zach Baum with a back injury, which is the bruise on his back, so nothing crazy there. E.J. Jenkins was added to the injury report with a hamstring injury. Terrace Marshall now just got injured the other day, so he'll be out with a knee injury, which is a big loss for this receiver core because he was putting a lot of attention in early in camp. Andrew Makuba is now out for another day with the shoulder, so we'll try to monitor that and see what happens in the near future. Devontae Smith with just with his back, so like I said, nothing serious about this either. Nolan Smith concussion, which we found out at the end of practice the other day, limited. Jahad Campbell with the shoulder, Jalen Carter with the shoulder, A.J. Dillon with a back, and Cam Jurgens with a back. So, a few more injuries are added, and we'll see in another few days to a week if this list is going to change, because there's obviously some injuries here that are concerning that, they need to come back as quick as possible to camp and compete for jobs, and hopefully that happens. Now we're here to talk about the defense because to start really everything out, Jahad Campbell is a menace. He's a bully. He's a jackhammer. He is ready to just annihilate you when he sees you on the field, and it looks like Ben Van Simmeren suffered an injury because of Jahad Campbell trying to make the block on Campbell. Campbell decleats him to the ground, and it looks like Ben Van Simmeren has a knee injury or something like that, so hopefully it's not serious. He was carried off I think he walked off on his own power, but he needs some help, had the trainers come, so I'm hoping nothing really bad there. There was even another play where Giles Jackson, the wide receiver, was blocking another defender, and he goes up to him and just decides to just thump him real quick. And that was another play that happened. And there was these reporters coming out that were pretty much like, he needs to dial it back. The coaches, they need to control him. I mean, what do you expect this guy to do? What do you expect him to do? He's fighting for a job. As long as there's no fights breaking out, and it seemed like the players didn't care. They're playing tough, and that's just what it is. This is a competition. There was a lot of snowflake beat writers that were making a big deal out of Jahad's over aggressiveness. I mean, what do you expect him to do in a situation during camp? Maybe you're the type of player that goes to hit somebody, but you don't realize how hard you're really hitting them. It's not like they're not wearing no pads, they're wearing shoulder pads, but these things do happen in camp sometimes. So if he was getting into 3 different fights on 3 different plays with players, then I would say they would have to break it up and just see what's going on. But if this is a strict competition and it's wide open, Jahad Campbell is going to make his presence felt, and these beat writers need to relax because this was kind of weak shit. I got to say, not only did Jahad Campbell start with the first team defense, but he actually played on the second team defense, and you know where they put him? They had him as an edge rusher. Yes, what we have been waiting for. because since this whole entire linebacker core, which we'll get to in a minute, has been having such a fantastic camp, if you want to play Trotter Jr. because you don't have Nakobe Dean and you want to use Jahad Campbell as an edge rusher, you can do that because, the versatility is there and Campbell can do it. And I think this is just limitless to another edge rusher you can possibly have on the field in Jahad Campbell. This is so exciting. I'm very excited that they put him as an edge rusher with the second team. Very, very good. Now, to talk about the cornerback position, it looks like Adoree Jackson did start his 4th time as the cornerback 2 today. Ringo took second team reps. Now, regarding Ringo, okay, so he had an up and down day. At least there was some type of positivity, okay? Now, there was one where he actually defended Johnny Wilson in the end zone, which should have been a touchdown. It was dropped by Johnny Wilson. Johnny Wilson still doing Johnny Wilson type things and dropping the football. And he's not really having a good camp at all when it comes to the receiver position, but Ringo knocked the ball out. Now it looks like Darius Cooper, the wide receiver, ran a slant pass, went up the right sideline, caught a big pass right there, past Ringo. So, I mean, we were kind of worried about Ringo and kind of the transitioning of his hips and how much of a statue he can be when he's in coverage on verticals, but even on a slant, still couldn't catch up with a fast receiver. A big completion right there, and Ringo loses that one. We keep saying this is early in the process. Cornerback 2, in my opinion, is the biggest problem on this team, more than safety, really more than anything else. And Ringo's getting beat by really a nobody at this point, and, hopefully puts more work in and hopefully gets better, and we'll need to get more reps against A.J. Brown. And Devontae Smith not being here, I think, is really hurting the competition because him being out there is just going to make more of these guys just a little bit better. He beat Johnny Wilson. It's not really saying too much, but I'm hoping we see a little bit more. Looks like Jalix Hunt had another great day where he had pressure on Jalen Hurts, got the sack on Jalen Hurts, and obviously they let these quarterbacks still throw the football, even if it is a sack, and it was still a completed pass to Grant Calcaterra for a few yards. But Jalix Hunt still putting up the pressure at Eagles camp. Now, Cooper DeJean was tested at the safety position today on an out route by Jalen Hurts to Grant Calcaterra, and it looks like DeJean was a little bit late on closing on him before he got the first down, and that was a lost rep by Cooper DeJean. No big problem with that. I mean, never played the position, has been playing it only for less than a week, and we have to give this more time. And this is only in base that he's going to be playing safety, so it's not going to be all the time. But in secret, in Fangio's dreams, he wants to move Cooper DeJean to safety. He wants him to be the Swiss Army knife of this defense and move him all over the place. And depending on Mac McWilliams and getting that inside job, and if he can handle it, there could be a big possibility that could happen. But he's getting very valuable reps at that safety spot, and will continue to do so. Now, Small Munden, the linebacker from Georgia, was sick the last couple days of practice, so he was dealing with an illness. He came back right into practice and stopped multiple rushes up the middle with his physicality and just stopping multiple plays. I mean, great. This is fantastic. I mean, your linebacker core right now is I'm hearing just every day there's always good. It's becoming one of our strong suits of this defense, and it's true. The Eagles have put a lot of draft compensation into this position, and now putting money into this position is an awesome thing. And Small Munden is just another piece that I want to see more of, and just how much more production he can bring to this defense. Fangio is going to have a wide view on a lot of these other linebackers that, could possibly play this season. Now, Eli Ricks actually got a big opportunity today. We haven't talked about Eli Ricks probably once this whole entire camp, but he had first-team reps in the slot, and he had an interception on Jalen Hurts. It looks like Jalen Hurts overthrew Dallas Goedert, Eli Ricks with the interception, and a good play by Eli Ricks. I mean, a guy that I just think that has too much competition in front of him. They're trying to now put him on the inside. So not only is it Mac McWilliams, now Eli Ricks is starting to play on the inside a little bit. I know a couple years ago, definitely in 2023, they tried to do that when Zech McPherson and Avonte Maddox were hurt that year, and they were kind of rotating the outside corners on the inside, which a lot of those guys can't play on the inside. Maybe they're trying to force Eli Ricks' hand to play in that slot spot, and This is another reason why they want DeJean to move out of that position. They want him all over the place. And I think they're putting as many bodies there to compete and see if Fangio thinks that there's someone there that could handle it. On first team red zone defense, Jordan Davis went against Brett Toth, beat him, and pretty much blew up a play in the backfield. Did a really good job there. Dickerson actually went out for that play. So, I mean, Brett Toth isn't really a good center. He's not really a good guard. So easily beatable. And Jordan Davis took care of that pretty damn quick. Now to talk about the offense, just a couple little things where Tanner McKee actually threw a pass deep back corner of the end zone to not only then Elijah Cooks, one of the most productive depth receivers we have on this roster right now in camp, and he literally just dropped it. He had it in his hands and it just fell out. And Elijah Cooks is really working his tail off to make some noise, and it's happening. And he's going to get more opportunities, especially with Terrace Marshall being down. And I can't wait to see him against some competition. Can't wait to see him in the open camp. He is really putting on a clinic in this camp, I gotta say. As much as Will Shipley has been having a pretty good camp, AJ Dillon's been getting a lot of attention from the coaching staff as well, and I think he's been great, thank God. I mean, Shunderick Powell, the undrafted running back from Arkansas, he had a long run, and I think what everybody's been talking about him is that he's got this extra gear of speed. Once he hits that straight line, boom. I mean, he's out of there. He had a long run against the Eagles defense. Saquon Barkley going down the sideline, slapping his hand, high five, and Shunderick Powell is a pretty good runner. I want to see more from him in this group, but a really good run by Shunderick Powell today. Well, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. That is your 6th day of Eagles training camp. We're going to be going into our 7th day, which will complete the week out as 1 week of training camp pretty much done with. What do you guys think? I mean, our defense is just getting better and better every single day under this coaching by Vic Fangio. The linebackers I'm just over the moon for right now and want to see more from all of these guys. How do you feel about Ringo? How do you feel about Adoree Jackson? There's just so much going on. Starting to see a little bit more positivity with the players we've really been dogging on the last few days, and hopefully that will continue where it's not going to be fully bad days. These guys will have some good moments, and that's what I'm really praying for from some of these guys. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and let me know if you guys think these beat writers are snowflakes. I'm talking about, John Campbell being just too much at practice. I mean, give me a break. But you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day, and make sure you hit the like button as well because it helps out tremendously. You guys have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Shake some up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Bye.